Hey guys, Crafty1 here, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is coming out very soon, so I went ahead and brought back two of our most favorite guests to talk about the game and our thoughts on it. So, starting from the left, we have Wipeout Jack.
Hello, everyone.
And then in the middle, we have Master Trainer Peter.
Hey, how we doing?
If you guys want to do a really quick rundown on what your guys'
All right, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead real quick. I'm not too complicated. I'm a modder, I'm a data miner, sometimes a speedrunner, I don't know. I post YouTube stuff if you want to check me out, that's cool. Otherwise, check out these guys, they're cooler than I am.
And then we have Master Trainer Peter.
Hey, I am a content creator on two different channels at the moment. I do an exergaming one, so it's like Ring Fit and like fitness gaming and stuff. And then I have another one that I'm building called Master Trainer Gaming, which is like a side one where I'm talking about Sonic and Pokemon. So this is very relevant. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and all those links are going to be in the description down below, so don't forget to check them out. And yeah, so let's just get right into it.
Okay.
Our thoughts, open world Pokemon, really quick so far.
Okay, honestly, open world Pokemon just as a concept, like seeing, Pokemon traveling the landscape, catching them in the wild, it's such an awesome idea, at least as a concept level.
Mm-hmm.
Execution might be different, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely where the series needs to go.
Uh-huh.
As far as that sort of thing, do you know what I mean? Like, the linear routes. I've actually just been recently replaying Sword because I
Okay.
got the living Pokedex, so I just needed to get a Regidrago and Glastria. So you've got to complete the entirety of the main story in order to get those ones.
Yeah.
And my lord, wow, what a it's such a it's a well-paced story, and like it's a well-paced flow through the game, but there's nothing to it. You just get to one area. Do you know what I mean? It's so linear. Even
It's
with
linear,
the
yeah.
open world. Even with that, I really think Sword and Shield were basically like a. I like to think of them as a test demo for Scarlet and Violet. Like the whole concept of a massive open world. They developed it into Arceus, and now, hopefully, we're going to just get the whole thing. I know there's a couple of loading zones from some of the. I don't know if you've seen any of those previews recently.
Yeah.
You got a couple of loading zones in towns, but apart from that, it sounds like the whole thing's open. So,
Hopefully
the execution, is good.
Yeah. Going off of actually a little bit of what both of you guys brought up. So I think Legends Arceus was by far like the most test demo for this game. And then I got of course Scarlet and Violet wild area. Then I evolved into the whole area being a wild area. And then Wipeout was talking about how the execution was, because yes, the Pokemon open world genre is such an interesting idea, but what do you guys think about the whole 3 storylines? So if you guys don't know, it's split into 3 different storylines. One is the they're all based off of roads, and I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
Is it Victory Road?
Yeah, Victory Road.
Victory Road.
Oh my god, they are all part of.
Are they? I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
there's Victory Road, Starfield, Street.
And is it Path? I think it's Path of Legends, but I can't quite
Path of
remember.
Legends.
Yeah,
I
I think so. Yeah,
That's what I thought it was, is the Path of Legends.
Yeah, you've got like the Titan Pokemon, which is really really cool. But yeah, story wise, I think that like multiple stories, I think is a really good idea. The only concern I have is what's the end? Do you know what I mean? Are they going to be good stories, or is it just?
Oh, are they going to collide?
Like, is there something that happens near the end of it?
They all
once you
come
complete
together.
Each of them. Yeah. So hopefully
That is interesting. I didn't think about that.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess that's a possibility where all 3 are like kind of mediocre in their own right, and you just kind of play through them, and then it's like, okay, you finished story 1, now do story 2, and like that'd be kind of, I'm sure it'd be fine, but it's not ideal. But one where you do all 3 maybe kind of at the same time, and like at the very end there's like one final thing that like combines all 3 story paths into one. That would be sick. I would love that.
That would be cool.
There's also another issue that gets brought up with it, is like level scaling amongst the 3 different stories, because we do know the traditional story route, which is the gyms, are going to have set levels, but we don't know if the Starfield Street or Starfall Street and I keep thinking they're alpha Pokemon. They're not alpha Pokemon. They're Titan Pokemon. Those
Yeah.
are also
Yeah.
might have level scaling as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's a bit of a shame that there's no level scaling, but also in a way, did either of you play Fallout New Vegas?
I have played Fallout New Vegas.
I
Yes.
have not.
So
Fake
that
gamer
doesn't
alert.
do. It doesn't do. It doesn't do level scaling, really, does it?
I know,
You
not-
can go anywhere, but if you go
Yeah,
one way,
no.
you're going to get absolutely melted.
That's
Mm.
almost
Ooh.
kind of like how I think it's like Breath of the Wild, right? You can like technically fight Ganon right away or whatever, but it's like
Yeah.
you
Yeah, you see
shouldn't.
the-
Yeah.
Speed runs of people like taking on the game with only a shield and stuff
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can do it, but yeah, so I wonder if it's going to be like that, and especially with all the stuff with like the terrestrialization and all that, which we'll come to in a bit. There's definitely going to be some different like competitive stuff that you can play around with, which
Yes.
might mean that you can take on those harder Pokemon already.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's an interesting one because the level scaling inherently sounds bad, but then you think about it, it's like I actually do want to
Yeah.
see if I can sneak along here and avoid everything and try and get all the good items.
That'd be
and
pretty
things
cool,
like that. Yeah.
I actually kind of forgot about that because I've been just hearing, amongst the whole Pokemon community that, oh, no level scaling equals bad. But I guess you are right because the whole idea of this game, it seems like, is to pick your own path. And if you want the game to be harder, then just go into the area that's harder. And
Kind of cool. I like it. It's different.
It's
like,
different,
Peter
yeah.
was saying, even Sword and Shield felt very linear, and for the past however many years it's been, 30 that Pokemon's existed, it's mostly been linear, which is fine. But then it feels like this game, they're like complete opposite direction, complete new experience. We want it to be different. Which
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going for.
You could make an art. I mean, this is for a different. Like we don't want to go on too many tangents, obviously. But like you could make an argument that the most open Pokemon games were Gen 1 and 2. I think.
oh, yeah.
Like you could easily make an argument because you could do stuff in different orders if you wanted. And there was
I guess you're right, yeah.
almost a little bit of openness, but like mostly it's quite linear. Especially since Gen 5. I mean, that was literally a straight path.
Yeah.
It was literally a straight path.
Yeah,
So,
you're right, Peter. You're right.
Yeah. It's really interesting because there's a lot of like I like the idea of this being so open and having the multiple stories and being able to go, oh, I fancy taking down that Titan, or oh no, actually I'm gonna go beat the gyms or whatever.
Yeah.
But also like, it's just gonna be the execution, which is it's just got to be done
100%.
well.
Yeah. So talking about the open world, we have different. We all assume there's going to be like structured areas per se. Do you think the whole game is going to have the whole world open from the start, or we have to unlock different mountainous like areas?
That is a good question. That I don't know, because it kind of goes back to that whole thing where it's like, is the game like truly open world where you can just do whatever you want from the get go? I don't think so personally, unless there's something that's already proven me wrong, because there might be. I haven't looked the most into it, but
Looking at some of those previews, like you've seen a few things where it's like people they were doing. I think it was the Titan. It was the Titan story. You have to fight because I think he's a rock type. I think he's a rock type.
the
Like,
claw.
you have to fight Claw.
Yeah, claw.
Yeah, the giant enemy crab.
Yeah,
Once
the
you-
giant crab.
Once you attack it for its weak point for massive damage, you go and fight it again, and it runs away and it runs
Yeah, it
away.
runs away.
But then apparently, like, a few people said that basically if you they were like, okay, cool, you're not allowed to go any further. You can go further, but you're not allowed. Like
Yeah.
under these are the rules. It's that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
allowed to go into that area. So I don't think just because of the way that, do you know what I mean? Like, I think people would have said, oh, I tried to go into that area, but I was told I wasn't allowed. The fact that you had the Nintendo rep standing over them going, don't you dare, don't you do it,
Yeah.
makes me think that it is actually fully open.
that would be awesome. Honestly, I'd prefer that. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that was the one thing that was a little like iffy about, like, okay, maybe there might not be open, because during the press release, if you guys didn't know, Scarlet and Violet, they did a press release in New York City. They brought a bunch of, the first time they brought influencers actually to that space along with media to play Scarlet and Violet for an hour. They got like 20 minutes of doing each of the storylines.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said they were able to go wherever they wanted, but they, as they couldn't. The Nintendo representative said they weren't allowed to. So, yeah.
It does sound potentially promising.
It does sound promising, yeah.
It is like truly open and no invisible walls, no like fences you can't jump over or whatever.
Yeah, because then that also brings up the question, if it isn't open, like what is the key factor on opening up the worlds or open up the areas? Whether that be like average level or something of the sorts. Yeah.
I think it's a thing because sometimes it's almost like a level gate, isn't it?
Yeah.
In certain games where essentially you can't do this until you're this level. And there was, I've been following the whole Sonic Frontiers thing closely. And there was originally in the original previews, they were being told that they weren't allowed to do this boss because of level gating. It was like, oh my god, that in a Sonic game is really weird.
That sounds weird.
None of that seems to be present here, but I do wonder if maybe the game almost like you can do certain things until you get, because you're gonna have the ride Pokemon, right? You're gonna have your
I did see that. You're right.
Who can
That's
fly
how they
stuff.
do it. That's how they do it. You're right.
So
if they were gonna lock away certain parts, they would be via like, well, you can't climb this, so you can't get to it yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because they actually did confirm there's 5 upgradable. I actually talked about this.
What's the 5th one?
We don't know what the 5th one is.
Oh,
it's sprinting,
teleporting, maybe.
Teleport. It's a sprinting, a flying, swimming, climbing, and then whatever
What
that.
haven't they covered yet?
Rock Smash?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just any TM move, maybe probably.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'd not heard that. The thing that I had heard though was about the badges. Did you see about the 18 badges?
I did see that 18 badges. Yeah.
So it isn't really inherently 18 badges. It's the 8 gym leaders, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then the Starfall Street. I forgot what the team name was. Team Star. Yeah.
Star.
Yeah. And I think there's 5 of them, and then there's a total of, I don't know if I'm doing the math right, but basically the Titans, the Team Star, they give you a kind of pseudo badge per se, and then you actually get badges from. But I don't know if we want to talk about leaks so much. I did find
actually begun.
Yeah, there's been a lot of leaks. I don't know if we want to talk about. Apparently,
I think we should avoid for now.
Yeah, I was going to say I've avoided those leaks as much as possible.
I respect that too.
Yeah. The one thing that I did come across turned out to be like it was confirmed fake.
Nice.
And that was like a Wiglet.
Yeah.
It's an evolution for Wiglet. It turned out.
Yeah, I've seen like fake evolutions all over Twitter.
Yeah.
But
I think we're actually in that dangerous part a few weeks beforehand where the game is going to leak. In fact,
it keeps trending.
It looks like someone's got it, right?
Yeah, someone's got
footage of the screens that we've not seen. Like they picked Sprigatito and Pikachu.
I did see that. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I did see that screenshot.
Yeah, so it's actually now a good time to start muting some words on Twitter,
this is a
blocking
good warning
some
if you're
thumbnails
listening.
on YouTube.
If you're watching right now and you don't want to see spoilers, block those terms. Don't look at Twitter.
Yeah, I think the thing going back to those 18 badges was obviously this is just pure theory in my head. We've not seen if they were going to do 18, we've got 18 different types as well. And if it's like 8 gym badges and then 5 for Starfall Street, 5 Titans.
Yeah.
Each of the kind of confirmed bosses, so like Melar is fire type, Cloth is a rock type, and then we've got an ice type, an electric type, and a grass type gym. So we've not, it's not many, but we've not seen them matching up.
Yeah.
Not seen matching matching gyms. Matching types, so it would be interesting if each of the main bosses, boss fights, is actually one for each type in the game. Who knows?
That would be interesting.
Could be interesting way of implementing it at least.
I
wonder what the 18 badges would do though. Like even if they're not full badges, I wonder what.
Yeah, I was thinking probably unlock a true ending. Like you get, I don't know if they would do that. Pokemon game having multiple
that could be the whole
endings.
thing. That could be the whole thing with we were saying about what happens if you beat all the stories. Well, you'd have to get all the badges then, wouldn't you? So maybe that is you get the actual ending for the game.
It all combines into one final thing. That'd be cool. That'd be a nice way to like wrap it up with a bow.
Yeah, definitely.
My Pokemon knowledge is very seasonal. Like it comes and goes, just like it does.
I have to agree. Yes.
Math does with summer and coming back to school. But is there 18 types? Yeah. So I would assume that there would be flat 18.
18's kind of a random number to have for both badges and like it'd be too much. It's a coincidence, is what I'm saying. If it doesn't line up, it's a really big coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be super cool though. It definitely seems like it's a long game, and that kind of lead me into my next question. How long do you think each storyline / the whole game in general might take? Because I think Sword and Shield.
Yeah, how long did Sword and Shield take?
Probably took not even 10 hours, 8 hours.
I was gonna say I knocked it out in 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I see we played Arceus, right?
Yeah, Arceus. I can't remember because Arceus was a different experience for me because I was trying to complete the actual decks before going into the next area. So I can't really give a good number, and I don't remember what everyone else took.
It's also probably not the greatest example, considering it's like a different.
It's a different game, yeah.
Yeah, I'd really welcome them to do more of them, but that's
beside
the point. Yeah, I think. God, I reckon I did like 20-25 hours. But I was like catching a lot and trying to do bits, so you know.
I definitely spent like more than 30 hours in the game, but yeah. I wouldn't say it took me 30 hours to complete.
No, it wouldn't surprise me to see each story take like 5 hours.
5 hours?
Yeah.
So 15, 20 in total, because there's the whole thing with the Pokemon series, and I mean Masuda isn't directing the games anymore, so
yeah,
whether or not that influence goes away, but he was saying that people, you know, he doesn't believe that people have time for video games anymore, really, as much time. So that was his whole thing about why gym fights only have 3 Pokemon and the Elite Four only has 4.
That's interesting, yeah.
In X and Y, stuff like that. So it wouldn't surprise me to see it be on the shorter end, but then with the sum of its parts, it does turn into like a full. And I think that the problem, well, it's not a problem. Sorry, the thing with a game like this is you're just going to be exploring. That's what they want. They want you to like, they're like, oh, what's that shiny thing over there? And just like be like a crow.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, shiny, cool. I'm going over there.
I'm going over
there. What's that on the horizon? I want to go explore. So it's going to take you. It's like I think they're trying to capture what they do with what made Breath of the Wild very special, which is like
special and unique. Yeah.
I've got to go over here.
But there's so many others.
Yeah.
There's a thing to do over here. Might as well do that. And then there's that. And then there's that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
something. Something to do with the playtime length is with a game like this that seems to be possibly you can beat it from the get-go, quote unquote, is depending on like your skill level or like how you choose to play the game, it might be vastly different. Like this could be the shortest Pokemon game ever if you decide, okay, well if you're good enough at the game to do it, and you decide I'm gonna beat it straight away. I guess you probably could, depending on the exact requirements. So
yeah, I think the whole 5-hour estimate per storyline is actually pretty. I think it's a good estimate because then if you think about it, you could add 5 hours to just exploring the wild area, or just the whole area, not the wild area. Just for like an average user, like in between each of your objectives. But if you're like a hardcore Pokemon player, I could definitely see the whole massive area being like another completion guide. Let me find every nook and cranny to fill. Yeah. So talking about the whole open world-esque, we haven't really touched upon what fills this world, and that is the Pokemon.
That's a good point.
What do you guys think of any of the new designs? If you guys saw any of them, any confirmed ones?
Do you want to comment on the starters real quick? That's like the big thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and Quaxly.
Who would you guys choose? I'm curious.
This kind of correlates to the next Splatfest as well.
Okay, we can throw that in there.
Yeah.
That is happening in like 10 days from recording.
Yeah, it's a couple days.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I go grass starter every time.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's me normally. I have a Snivy plush right back there. And
I don't know. Bulbasaur fan too, so I respect it.
Yeah. But I have to go with Fuecoco. He's a little chilly, and I am pretty sure my guess is he's going to turn into a chili dragon, where it's just going to be like a massive I don't know.
That is funny because I would go for Quaxly. So there we have the three.
Hey, the three.
This is truly the dichotomy of man.
That's great. Yeah. Do we have any like quick predictions on what they might turn into? I know that kind of.
It's impossible to predict.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that we can predict is that if you have a Pokemon that is on all fours, a starter Pokemon, it will end up being
it will end up being an all
That's
fours.
the Incineroar thing. People are mad about that. They don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Quaxley's.
I love when. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I loved when Sun and Moon was coming out and you saw what's Litten's evolution? Torracat. And everyone was like, look at the size of its legs. You stop training your legs. Stop training your legs. You're not allowed to stand on them. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Crafty.
Oh, I was just saying, like, Fuecoco's on 2 legs. So I don't know what I'm picturing with Fuecoco. I just see there's something big in him, and I just want to be a part of that.
He does feel like he's going to have a really cool looking evolution, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. He's food,
I'm excited.
and I like food, so
food is good. I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's a good. They're good. They're good designs.
They're really good designs.
I think it honestly extends to the whole lot of them. Like, I don't think there's a bad design in there.
Yeah.
And going back to like the rest of the Pokemon, is there any other new ones that like stood out to you, or you thought were particularly good, or?
So I mean, we could
bad. I don't know.
quickly talk about Miraidon and Koraidon.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about what game we're going to play as well. So, which one is your favorite, and what do you guys think of the designs of the two?
You can go first, Crafty.
Oh, of course. They have the the future and past theme going on. I don't really care for the past theme that much compared to the future. So I definitely am gonna go with Miraidon, and I think I do love them whole future aesthetic.
Okay. No, I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I don't know. Actually, it's a good choice. Probably the same, but I could be converted. I don't know. I'm still on the fence.
One thing that rubbed me the wrong way is in the game, Koraidon runs on his legs instead of using his, I don't know, chest wheel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
And then
it looks like a motorbike, but he's not a motorbike.
Yeah.
The design is odd. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the Gen exclusive, what is it, Ceruledge, and I forgot what the other one was called.
Armor Rouge.
Yes.
They're cool.
Also, Scarlet Violet exclusives. Ceruledge is the fire type one. Fire Ghost, is that right?
Yeah, they're both.
Oh no, it's the opposite. They're both fire type. One's Fire Ghost. What's the other one?
One's Fire. Oh, what is the other one? That would sound right if I had to guess.
Psychic.
Yeah, one's purples, one's red. The purple one's with
yeah, I just checked it as Psychic. You're right.
With Violet, and the red one's with Scarlet. And I still like the Ghost one more, the one that goes with Violet. And with all of the sums, I think I'm gonna have to go with Game Violet, if that makes sense.
If I had to choose now, I'd choose Violet. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really interesting thing. Just I look into like game sales a lot, and kind of like with the Pokemon series, I think it's really like it's just some really interesting stuff. You know how when you say red and blue, you say gold and silver, you say ruby and sapphire. It's always the first one that you say that sells more.
Oh really? Yeah, however, I actually noticed that this time too.
The trend seems to be the opposite for this one.
Yeah,
the trend seems to be more people are picking Violet.
And
it's really interesting because I think maybe with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it was more equal. But normally, like the first one that you kind of say like Scarlet,
you emphasize it,
is more dominant in sales by quite a bit because it's the
I didn't
first
know
one
that.
that you hear. So like. I think it like if I had to guess, it would be like how like parents are like, oh, I need the new Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
Right, just get Scarlet because it's the first one.
Probably.
So it's like they hear the first one and they go, right, cool, grab that. I would imagine that's part of it. Yeah, it's really interesting that this time around, it does seem to be Violet is way more popular than Scarlet.
Yeah, I noticed like with a lot of Pokemon game sales, one seems to be, I guess, more feminine, and one seems to be more masculine, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and everything like that, even though that was kind of balanced out. And I think just one sells more because one appeals more to, just younger boys that actually play video games. Not that. Okay, hold on.
Crafty Type 1 claims women do not play video
I
games.
know, that's
You're
it. That's
Exclusive.
Young boys only play video games. If you're older than 10, you should not be playing video games. Log off now.
Literally, I'm a literal Twitch streamer.
True. Good point. Good point.
But yeah. But yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I have found that a lot of people, are going more toward the, I don't know, the sleeker option. I don't know how to exactly word it in that sense.
I think what you're trying to say is it doesn't have to do with the actual in-game content. It's just the marketing.
Yeah,
right?
It's just the marketing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they're getting better at having it hard to decide. I mean, for Sword and Shield, the legendaries look too similar to go off of that. And then the starters didn't look that great for me personally. I didn't get an immediate attachment to one. So that was my tough decision when like trying to pick one. For, Scarlet and Violet, all the exclusives are like, ooh, I'm torn between the two. The legendaries, I'm torn between the two. And the starter Pokemon, I'm torn between all three. Like, Sprigatito is a close second for me to pick. My starter. So I don't know. I think they're just doing a good job in that sense.
This is the thing. Like the design game. I'm on Cerebi right now, just looking at all of the designs of the new Pokemon and all of the officially revealed ones because they're.
I've seen them too. Yeah.
There's how many? There's like 6 that are unofficially revealed. They've been in trailers, but they haven't actually pointed them out. All of the ones that have been revealed have been really strong designs, which is fantastic. Like I think agree. I really like as well, and something I want to bring up. Like I'm a really big fan of Farigiraf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The hoodie one.
The hoodie one. But it's a really exciting prospect because it's not an alter. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a different form that is evolving into it, and. Yeah, I know that coughing turned into Galarian wheezing, but it looks like it could be with Gen 4 where you just had older Pokemon evolving because new mechanics were available. Yeah. It looks like it might be that, and that'd be really cool because that opens up the floor for a lot of different Pokemon to get.
Yeah, funny enough,
get evolutions.
We have confirmed seasons in Black and White returning. So so Pokemon. I don't think Black and White could really utilize the seasons mechanic for evolving Pokemon because in Black and White they limited the first game to just Black and White Pokemon.
Yeah.
So seasons are returning, so we definitely could see some seasonal evolutions for all those Pokemon returning. But yeah, speaking of, or hold on, I'm drawing a blank here. Do you guys have anything to go off of that?
No, it's really interesting just with different evolution aspects. And there's a few things that look like they are kind of changing the game up here. Like, for example, Wiglet. Wiglet, which everyone was like, when I first saw that, I was like, it's a Paldean Wiglet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
And then suddenly it's called Wiglet.
Yeah, in the decks, it's not a new form.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's just kind of odd, yeah.
It is odd, but it's also it also opens up the floor to having more types. I mean, like they could easily have just made it a Paldean Diglett. They didn't. And we've actually only had like one Paldea form revealed. That's Wooper.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Nothing else has been revealed.
We haven't seen anything yet, and I kind of like that because I know Pokemon's going the whole new route of less information, just more general marketing. Which I think is a good thing. Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. Like a lot of people are hoping that the evolutions of the starters get revealed. But they didn't. They've only done it for.
Did they do that for Sword and Shield?
They did it after the game's release during the Accolades trailer. I believe that's when they showed it off.
Sun and Moon had them revealed. But the only the Sun and Moon marketing cycle was very different because they revealed. Pretty much, I've actually got the stats on it. It's like over 80% of the Pokemon Pokemon in the game and forms were revealed in the trailer before the game came out. And
I personally wouldn't like that if I was like wanting to play the game. It's just spoiler city, basically.
And especially what Scarlet and Violet is leaning towards, which is discovery. Part of what I personally love about it, big games like this, is discovering new stuff. Like So if I see something cool in the distance, I'm like, oh my god, what is that? Like, even though I was complaining about the story of Sword and Shield and like how I'm not really keen on it and don't really want to replay it after my replay here.
Yeah.
My first playthrough, like I remember seeing a Galarian Meowth just like chasing me out of this field, just like, come on. I was like, oh my god, what are you? What are you? And then when it said it was Meowth, I like lost my mind because Meowth's my favorite Pokemon. So it's
Very
just
respectable
joining
choice.
good memories. It's such a good choice.
Yeah.
It's just all these really cool bits of information and stuff. It's just there's some great designs.
Just learning more about the game. Like, I would rather learn about the game while I'm playing it than sitting at my monitor like 2 days before release searching new Pokemon information and just like, oh, there's an article from Nintendo Life. Oh, Nintendo revealed new Pokemon. It's not as exciting as you were saying. It's less of a memorable experience than if you're actually in the wild and you spot that new Pokemon, as you were saying.
I've actually heard no one talk about this, but so we know that the team making Scarlet and Violet is a fairly young team. From Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, that was like their last game for all the older generation Pokemon developers. And I think, personally, we see that in the Pokemon designs. I don't know if you noticed, they all seem kind of derpy in that sense. Derpy, like, cute in, because we have like a brown Wooper. We have Fido, a like dog Pokemon. Like,
okay, Fido's great.
But I think it's a good thing. But I know a lot of people also think it's a bad thing because they don't like, not cool Pokemon in that sense. What are your guys' opinions on that, on any of the new derpy looking Pokemon?
I like them personally. I can't complain. And also, we've only seen a very small portion. You can't say already, I hate the selection.
Yeah,
no, it's...
Oh no. I mean, if we're talking a little bit derpy, I mean, like, look, Belly Bolt is a perfect example of that. He's very cute. He's a very cute little frog thing.
And what is he?
What? I think he's like a frog with a chancy face, like, which is really cool. Like, it's very marketable, isn't it? Yeah,
it like they definitely feel like Squishmallows at times. Yeah.
It's unique, and I like that.
Well, when I see these Pokemon, like, I have no problem with it, but when I see it, I'm like, they're selling that as a plush when this game comes out.
It's marketable.
Yeah.
There's a few of them which are like, looking at the design and you mentioning that, actually, like, there is actually something super interesting in there because, you've got some of these more marketables like Lechonk.
Lechonk was like the main thing everyone was talking about.
Everyone was going mad after Lechonk, but then you've got some of the Pokemon that are kind of like almost more for like an older audience, like Armarouche and Ceruledge, and then you've got Cyclizar as well. I don't think it's any coincidence that Cyclizar was revealed with all the in the competitive trailer.
Yeah,
they showed off new abilities.
They're targeting a certain audience, is what you're saying. I get
definitely. Yeah. I was actually, a fun fact, I was in the crowd for that in the Pokemon World
that's
Champions
pretty cool.
When that got announced. It popped off. It was amazing. Not as much as the EX cards. When they revealed the X cards, like that got the biggest cheer. I was like, oh yeah, cool, go off. But there's Belly Bolt. What a good boy. But yes, I think they are definitely like aiming towards particular people. And yeah, you're right. They are trying to bring in like they're marketing a lot of those newer
for certain crowds
Pokemon.
True.
Absolutely.
So one more thing on the Pokemon that I have. I'm of the prediction that they're gonna end at 999 or 1,000 flat. Do you guys think they're gonna do that, or do you think they're just gonna pump out as many Pokemon as they want?
What are you saying? They would just end Pokemon, or what?
No? Well, like, because we know that the next generation is Gen 10, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the first new Pokemon in Gen 10 be 1001? Is what my thinking. I think they might do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the alternative?
That they just go past 1000.
Yeah, it might be a little bit. No, I get what you're saying there. I wonder if they would do that, but it also...
It's finicky, I guess.
I wonder if they would end in this game, or let's say the base game.
Oh, yeah, because there's also
that's a possibility.
DSC.
At around 990, and then you've got room for 10 Pokemon to come out, and maybe the mythical Maybe the mythical for this one will be Pokemon 1000, the 1000th discovered Pokemon. And they have a whole marketing cycle around that.
Probably, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But that, if they
sell a
have
whole DLC for that,
1,000, if they try and like reach it, like let's just say their end goal is 1,000 by the end of this generation, that includes mythicals, that includes everything. That only leaves like 60 new Pokemon, and that's the only issue I find with the way that I'm thinking. Because I think that's few Pokemon.
That seemed like not.
Yeah,
that
like we've not had. I mean, what was the amount of new Pokemon? I think it was Gen 6 had the least amount of new Pokemon.
Do you know how many that was?
Gen 6 was.
I believe.
I feel like it was around 75 or 80 or something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know any workaround to this at all either.
Yeah.
So it's either they add past 1,000 or they go
72 new Pokemon, in X and Y. Was all.
Yeah. So a downgrade from that would be pretty bad.
Well, it'd be 60, around 60ish. Aren't we?
What are we on at the moment? We're on.
I thought we were at 940. I might be wrong.
So before Generation 9, before Generation 9, it's 905 Pokemon.
Oh,
not including any of the new ones that have been revealed already.
Oh, then that's totally doable.
That should be fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they could put 95 new Pokemon in across like all of the iterations, DLC and stuff, and that would be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds perfectly fine to me.
I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I was like 946
You're good,
or something. Yeah. But yeah, I think they're definitely going to be doing that.
I can see that. Yeah, 100%.
Anything else you guys want to add on about Pokemon? Just like as a general topic?
Probably the last important thing, or maybe not the last important thing, but an important thing to cover for sure is, and it's nothing new for the Pokemon series, but when I go on Twitter and I look up Arceus, or not Arceus, what's Arceus? Scarlet and Violet, I see the same complaints about the graphics and it doesn't look very good, and I want your guys' general opinions on that because it's kind of a Pokemon thing at this point.
So, do you want to start, Peter?
I was gonna bring up the tree from Sword and Shield. So
The tree.
People sold merch of that tree.
That's hilarious, actually.
Look, I think I gotta say I don't think that this is as pretty as previous games.
I would agree. Yeah.
I think I think they're going for something different, and that's cool. Like the textures are a lot better on the Pokemon themselves, which I really like. And it seems like, from what I gather, they're putting a lot of effort into how the Pokemon actually act in the wild. Yeah, which is really good. Which again is really good. So I don't think it's anything that's really going to detract from my experience and my enjoyment of the game. So I'm not particularly fast personally, but also. And equally, I'm a little bit concerned about the actual performance of the game. As in,
That's a good point.
We've seen the clips of the Sunflora way, and I know it's different in the Japanese version. It is a bit smoother, but it's still
I've seen
great for a triple.
I've seen the side by side. The Japanese version was better, but
yeah.
I think not really. This is a AAA game. Like, it should be.
And it's the biggest multimedia franchise of all time. Like, it's kind of a bit sad that it's like this.
That's right.
I think the hope for all Pokemon fans and even just Nintendo Switch fans in general is that we have a few years left with the Switch. Then the Switch 2 or whatever is going to be huge and massive.
Yeah, the Switch Pro or
Switch.
Switch XL.
New Nintendo Switch. Yeah, whatever they call
New
it.
Nintendo Switch XL Pro. But I think with like performance-wise, we're gonna get the whole stuttery kind of far away object things. I forgot how close the Sunflora was in the trailer.
They were pretty close to the player character.
It wasn't that far.
But I think the thing with you were saying about like the background thing is like it's part of Nintendo's graphics engine.
It's a part of the new graphics engine.
Done it, isn't it? Like even like Switch Sports did it, Arceus did it.
No, it's not just
Splatoon 3 as well. Like it's not. I'd rather that like it be a little bit jittery in the background than the foreground.
Yeah, in the foreground. Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I think the people who went through the I forgot like the play test with the people that actually tried it. They said it ran at a smooth 60? Was it 60 or was it 30?
Hopefully 60.
But to be honest, like that's just going on. Oh yeah, my eye thinks it's 60, and
Yeah, true. There's
they
no
didn't have any actual like FPS meter.
That's only an hour of gameplay in the very strict and limited area,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe on some kind of like dev switch that has extra capabilities anyway. So you
Yeah.
don't even know.
They did say it was smooth though, so that's what's my hoping is at least it's hopefully a constant, either 30 or 60.
I think, like, yeah, like locking it to 30 to make it more consistent, I don't have a problem with that personally. Like, I've never had a problem with that with games. I think if, like, I know 60 is very nice and very smooth, but also apart from fighting games where you've got frame data, like, it's not, I don't know, most of the time it doesn't particularly matter.
Yeah.
Unless you're a speedrunner, of course, in which case, I'm not. So I can't speak for you, Jack. But yeah, like, for someone who enjoys the games for what they are, like, I would rather have it locked to 30. But like some of the performance stuff is a little bit, it's just a little bit concerning for such a big franchise. That, like, yeah.
And I think they're also like taking features away from the actual game to help, like, performance wise, because I don't know if you guys know, in the wild or in the open world area, Pokemon just stand there. They just stand. They don't like run after anything.
What for in Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah, in Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, in the
That's not what I'd heard.
play demo.
I'd heard that they were interacting and stuff.
Some
hope so.
Some of them were, but like most of the Pokemon kind of just stood there, and this was shown in all the trailers. Like there would be like a belly bolt just standing by a pond, and you could run up to it and attack it, or something of the sort.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it wouldn't be like that, but
yeah,
maybe there's a few that are like that.
So, gonna relate back to Sonic Frontiers. So when we got the initial trailer, the world looked super empty.
Yeah.
Okay, the Sonic Frontiers thing was the marketing is just.
The marketing was abysmal. Abysmal. And it looked really bad. And then when I played it, like, what was it, a month ago, the open world is actually quite chock full of stuff.
Yeah.
Spread out enough, but like they hadn't put half the stuff in the trailers. They weren't really representing the product there. And I've heard, like, because people weren't allowed to use their own footage.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah.
And this is the thing. So there's people saying, yeah, like, you can't see it in the footage, but like I'm walking around and there's like 3 different Pokemon in a tree. Like 3 different species of Pokemon. It's not just like 3 Pokemon sitting in the tree. It's 3 different species in the tree. You've got all these Pokemon surrounding you. Like, they're even if some of them are just standing still, you have enough around you to do that. And I don't think the trailers are really representing what it's capable of. And I reckon, personally, that's because there were new Pokemon in there and they're not letting anyone know about it.
Because they didn't take out any of the new Pokemon. That's right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because like for Sword and Shield, they didn't reveal, like you get like the Rattata and the Pidgey equivalent and the Caterpie equivalent. They didn't reveal them at all.
We haven't gotten them yet.
In the marketing, and we haven't. I mean, we may have had a look at it in that trailer where there's like the Pokemon who are kind of like in the trailer, but they weren't officially revealed.
Oh yeah.
There's a bug and there's like a mouse thing. So like it could be them, but it's just really interesting that they haven't really shown that off.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, but overall, I think Nintendo knows what they're doing when it comes to graphics and performance. Let's just we can only hope now that
it's been the same since the Switch's lifetime. Graphics have been the greatest. It's just expected at this point.
Yeah,
as long as it's quality gameplay time.
That's the most important, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the final thing, at least that I know of, is that the other thing I've been seeing people say online in general is just that, I don't know, people are saying it's just like, oh, it's just another Pokemon game. It's just, I don't think they think it's the terrestrialization. I forget how exactly you say it.
Terrestrialization?
Terrestrialization, that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe they still think it's a big enough deal, because I don't know, I guess they don't think it's different enough to really...
I mean, it's super similar to Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing. to the point where
Really
it's
aimed
like it's. I think they just found a really good thing when it came to Dynamaxing, and they're just like, well, now let's just make it where every Pokemon can do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of self-explanatory. I feel like you just add a third different type to your Pokemon with the little tiny little crystal hat.
Yes.
I like that they haven't shown off all the hats.
I know, yeah.
Oh,
I was
cool.
also-
I want to see the hats. But yeah, it's really interesting. You can double up with your type as well, and it gives you a better stat.
Better stat, yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool like offensive and like it's clearly aimed at competitive Pokemon. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what the gimmick is. There's no need to beat around the bush with it. It's really cool for competitive players, but for people in game, it's probably not going to be a massive deal.
Yeah.
Same as Dynamax and Gigantamax, as he said. I am surprised that there's no like terrestrial forms.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was
specific
about
forms.
to ask. The one question I have with it is, do you guys think there's going to be unique Pokemon that have a unique terrestrialization form? A
I
part,
feel like they would have mentioned it by now. I don't know.
yeah, a part of me is like they would have mentioned it by now if they did. I mean,
Yeah.
we have Terra raid battles, which I'm.
Well,
super
and I know there's the
excited
thing
for.
where it's like a Pokemon that's whatever like a type, it can become like a different type with terrestrialization. So it's like kind of similar to that. Like it's like basically its own unique thing.
Yeah.
It would be it'd be interesting to see if something like it changed up like an ability or something as well, or maybe like just had a different form and altered the stats slightly, so almost like a mini Mega Evolution.
Yeah,
could be an interesting it could be an interesting concept, but whether or not I don't think I would love to see it, honestly, because I just love different Pokemon forms.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see it because they haven't. Yeah, I don't think that's something that's something they'd use to market the game. It's big enough for them to market the game.
Good point.
So yeah.
Agreed.
Yep. Yeah, there isn't really much to talk about in terrestrialization. It's just a gimmick is now what I have to say.
I mean, I hate to be like negative or whatever. It's not even negative. It's just kind of the truth that each Pokemon has to have its new gimmick, and this is just the gimmick. I guess it's not too unique, is what people are saying, and I don't think that's a huge thing. It doesn't need to have some crazy new gimmick, but I guess something bigger would have been nice. Doesn't really matter to me that much.
Yep. And I feel like they have something interesting here with like the whole third type. I personally just don't like the whole idea of crystal Pokemon and the whole hat thing.
Different, at least.
I understand why they're doing it. So like every Pokemon can, have a Terra type, and it's not just limited to a select few.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does feel, I don't know, not rushed. I don't know what to think about it. It's interesting, and that's all I have to say. Yeah.
It artificially increases the grind because you've got to grind for the right Terra type,
The right
and then
Terra
the
type.
right IVs, and then the right moves. I don't know. It's great for competitive, but if you're not into competitive, you're
probably not going to care too
I
much.
think you're right. It's just the next gimmick, and it'll be gone in the next generation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically what it is as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So, I think that's everything we have on our little docket.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to see in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that we haven't talked about? I guess
Me personally, I just want, and we have talked about this. I want the execution of the open world to be good.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
definitely.
If they can pull that off, that'll be big enough for me to be completely happy with the game.
What about you, Peter?
I would like to see. I'd like to see more like older Pokemon get new evolutions.
that'd be
cool. Oh,
That'd be
yeah.
some really cool stuff. And
Definitely.
I like your idea about seasonal Pokemon. Like seasonal evolutions of different ones would be wicked. Yeah. I'd really like to see that. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
For me personally, I mean, talking about Pokemon, I do want to see more Ghost types. I am a big Ghost type fan. We did get the new Ghost type dog, but
True.
yeah, I don't want to see an obvious villain. I want the story to actually kind of be good as a big JRPG player. I don't know if you guys have heard about the whole theory that you're not the president, the dean of the school
Yeah.
is the bad guy. But I'm like, okay, is this going to be just the most obvious bad guy ever, or is this going to be like, can we do a fake out with him where we think he's the bad guy, and then for some reason he
It'd be
isn't.
cool if there was a nice plot twist in there.
Yeah, there's a good
Yeah,
plot
it'd be
twist.
cool. Like Starfall Street are the or Team Star are like, you know, there's like a head honcho, and it turns out it was hired by the dean.
Yeah.
And the dean is actually in control.
Yeah,
of
the team is-
Pokemon League.
Something like that would be
I don't know. I just want to, you know what? The other thing I want to know about this is, you've seen the map, right?
Oh, the mini map. Yeah,
Seen the map. Yeah, like I want to know what the hell that big swirling circle in the middle is.
Oh yeah.
What's the time hole doing? Like, what is it? Like, show me it. So yeah.
There's
I
still.
want to see the hole, is what Peter's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that one. Yeah, fair enough.
There's a lot of stuff we still have yet to talk about, but unfortunately we have, our time cut short.
Try to keep this one shorter.
Yeah, we got to keep this one shorter.
Listen, we could talk about this for like, I don't know, 300 hours or something.
Yeah,
The amount of tangents that's possible is infinite.
Exactly. It'll be really interesting to do a discussion. I'm up for another discussion when the game's out.
Yeah,
I'm always
let's
down.
release
You
this
know
We've
game.
had a couple of weeks of playing it, and then we can be like, right, cool. What did we
actually
see?
think?
What did we like? What ghost types are there?
100%.
What ghost is? But,
What is the hole? What is the massive hole?
What is the massive hole? Yeah.
But yeah, so we are gonna end this episode here. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to smash the like button, and don't forget to check out Wipeout Jack and Master Trainer
Thank you,
Peter
thank you.
in the description down below. Peter, do you have anything cool coming up for your channel? Any like?
I'm going to be doing a bunch of coverage on Sonic Frontiers.
Ooh, true,
On Master Trainer
true.
Gaming. I've been really ramping up for that.
I'm gonna be watching that.
And it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really fun. And then on Master Trainer Peter, I'm reviewing some of the older fitness games on the Switch. And the Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival game as well.
Hey,
So,
okay.
which is gonna be cool. There's a Pokemon song in that as well. So yeah. Relevant. Yeah.
And then
Right,
Wipeout. I
right.
know.
Right now, my channel is just Switch Sports stuff, basically. But
Yeah.
One day, or if you like Switch Sports, just sub it. If not, whatever.
When golf comes
It's
out.
not exactly.
Oh,
bro,
when
like
golf
December,
I forgot about golf.
the content will be unlimited.
Fine, maybe free roam. Maybe.
If they add free roam, I will. It's not okay.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. I'm Crafty Type 1. We have, again, Wipeout Jack and Master Trader Peter. And we will see you guys maybe
Later.
in our post discussion.
Ooh.
Adios.
Yeah.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.